You've probably been told that leg cramps, weakness, and shaky steps are just part of aging. But what if they're not? And what if your legs have been quietly missing three key vitamins all along? Doctors rarely mention them. The bottles you see on TV. Not even close. And yet, these three nutrients have been shown to reduce nighttime leg cramps, improve balance, and rebuild muscle strength naturally, even at 75. Here's what's shocking. One of these vitamins helps muscle fibers contract and relax in perfect rhythm. Another boosts your leg power by up to 300%. And the third improves nerve signals to stop that wobbly, uncertain feeling when you stand or walk. But you won't hear about them because they're too effective, too cheap, and not profitable. So in this video, we're pulling back the curtain. You'll discover the top 3 science-backed vitamins for leg strength and cramp relief. Plus, how to use them safely and affordably. Everything you'll learn is backed by real clinical research. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments, how old are you and where are you watching from? We reply to every single one, and we're here if you ever need help. Now let's get started with vitamin number 3. Vitamin D, the master key to unlocking leg strength and stopping cramps. Think of your leg muscles as a sophisticated electrical system, where every contraction depends on perfect voltage control. But vitamin D is like the master electrician that ensures all the wiring works flawlessly. Without adequate vitamin D, your leg muscles become like a house with faulty electrical connections. The lights flicker, appliances malfunction, and eventually, everything starts breaking down. This single vitamin controls the fundamental processes that determine whether your legs feel strong and cramp-free or weak and unreliable. When you take vitamin D, it doesn't immediately go to work in your muscles. Instead, it travels to your liver, where it gets converted into calcidiol, then to your kidneys, where it transforms into calcitriol, the active hormone form that your leg muscles desperately need. This calcitriol acts like a master key, unlocking your intestine's ability to absorb calcium and magnesium from food. Without sufficient vitamin D, you could consume all the calcium and magnesium in the world, but your body would only absorb about 10–15% of it. With optimal vitamin D levels, that absorption rate jumps to 30–40% or higher. But here's where it gets fascinating for leg strength. Once calcium and magnesium are properly absorbed, vitamin D continues its work directly inside your muscle cells. It binds to special vitamin D receptors embedded in your leg muscle fibers, triggering a cascade of events that fundamentally changes how your muscles function. First, it activates genes that produce more contractile proteins, the actual machinery that generates muscle power. Your quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves literally start building more of the proteins they need to contract forcefully and maintain strength. Simultaneously, vitamin D optimizes the electrical system within each muscle cell. It regulates calcium channels in the cell membrane, ensuring that when your brain sends a signal to contract, calcium flows in at exactly the right rate. When the contraction needs to end, vitamin D helps magnesium efficiently remove that calcium, allowing the muscle to relax completely. This precise calcium-magnesium dance is what prevents cramps. Those painful episodes happen when calcium floods in but can't get back out properly, leaving your muscle stuck in a contracted state. The muscle fiber recruitment aspect adds another layer to vitamin D's leg strengthening power. When vitamin D levels are optimal, it enhances the communication between motor neurons and muscle fibers, allowing your legs to recruit more muscle units during contractions. This means when you stand up, climb stairs, or push off while walking, more muscle fibers activate simultaneously, creating significantly more force and power. Without adequate vitamin D, many muscle fibers remain dormant even during maximum effort, leading to that frustrating feeling of weakness despite having physically intact muscles. The cramp prevention mechanism is particularly crucial for nighttime leg cramps. During sleep, your body's natural vitamin D production from sunlight stops, but your muscles still need to maintain proper electrical balance. If vitamin D levels are low, the calcium channels become unreliable. Magnesium can't do its job effectively, and your calf muscles or feet can suddenly lock up in painful spasms. This is why cramps often strike at night when vitamin D's regulatory influence is most needed, but potentially most depleted. For rebuilding leg strength, vitamin D's effects go far beyond just preventing cramps. It directly stimulates muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your leg muscles actually grow stronger and larger. Research shows that people with optimal vitamin D levels can increase muscle protein synthesis by up to 30% compared to those who are deficient. This is why vitamin D deficiency causes such dramatic weakness in the glutes, thighs, and calves. These large muscle groups require enormous amounts of protein synthesis to maintain their strength. And without adequate vitamin D, that process essentially shuts down. The mitochondrial enhancement effect provides sustained energy for leg function. Vitamin D receptors are highly concentrated in muscle mitochondria, where they optimize energy production pathways. When vitamin D levels are sufficient, your leg muscles can generate ATP more efficiently, leading to better endurance and reduced fatigue during daily activities. This explains why vitamin D deficient individuals often feel like their legs tire quickly, even with minimal exertion. The age-related aspect is particularly important. After age 50, skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. Kidney function declines, so less vitamin D gets converted to its active form, and intestinal absorption decreases. This creates a perfect storm where older adults need more vitamin D, but produce and absorb less of it, leading to the epidemic of leg weakness and cramping in seniors. For optimal leg strength and cramp prevention, you need 2,000–4,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily, not the minimal 600–800 IU that most guidelines suggest. Take it with a meal containing healthy fats like nuts, avocado, or olive oil, since vitamin D is fat-soluble, and absorption increases dramatically with fat intake. The best time is with your largest meal of the day, typically lunch or dinner, when you're most likely to consume adequate fats. Avoid vitamin D2 ergocalciferol, found in many supplements and fortified foods. It's much less effective than vitamin D3 cholecalciferol. Look for vitamin D3 combined with vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium into bones rather than soft tissues, optimizing the mineral balance that vitamin D creates. Most people notice reduced nighttime cramping within 2 to 3 weeks of starting proper vitamin D supplementation, while significant improvements in leg strength typically appear after 6 to 8 weeks of consistent use. Blood testing can confirm optimal levels aim for 40 to 60 ml, not just the normal range of 30 ml that many labs use. The transformation can be remarkable. Legs that once felt unreliable become steady and strong. Painful cramps become rare occurrences, and the simple act of standing up from a chair or climbing stairs regains the effortless power it once had. Because when your leg muscles have the master key they need, everything else falls into place. If vitamin D is the master key unlocking your muscles, then vitamin B1 is the power plant supervisor, keeping the entire system energized and running. Vitamin B1, the energy factory supervisor. Your leg muscles can't live without. Think of your leg muscles as a massive power plant, where thousands of tiny energy factories work around the clock to generate the electricity needed for every contraction. But vitamin B1 is like the master supervisor who ensures all these factories run at peak efficiency. Without adequate B1, your leg muscles become like a power plant. With a broken control system, the machinery exists, but it can't convert raw materials into usable energy, leaving you with weak legs that feel like they're running on empty. When you consume vitamin B1, It travels through your bloodstream to your liver, where it gets converted into thiamine pyrophosphate TPP, the active form that your leg muscle cells desperately need. This TPP then enters the mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside each muscle cell, where it becomes the essential supervisor of energy production. Every single muscle contraction in your quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves depends on this vitamin B1 supervised energy conversion process. Here's where the magic happens for leg strength when you need your muscles to contract. They run on a specific type of cellular energy called ATP. Your muscle cells create ATP by breaking down glucose through a complex process, and vitamin B1 is the critical supervisor at the most important step. It activates the enzyme complexes that convert glucose into acetyl-CoA, the fuel that gets fed into your cellular energy factories. Without sufficient B1, this conversion process slows to a crawl, leaving your leg muscles energy-starved, even when you have plenty of glucose in your bloodstream. The power output multiplication effect is where B1's true importance for leg strength becomes evident. When B1 levels are optimal, your leg muscles can produce ATP at rates up to 300% higher than when deficient. This means the difference between struggling to rise from a chair and standing up with ease, between feeling exhausted after climbing a few steps and powering through an entire staircase. The enzyme complexes that B1 activates work like molecular turbines. The more B1 available, the faster they spin, and the more energy they generate for your leg muscles. The cramp connection becomes clear when you understand that muscle relaxation actually requires more energy than contraction. When B1 levels drop, your leg muscles can contract using stored energy, but they can't generate enough fresh ATP to pump calcium out of the muscle cells, the process that allows relaxation. This creates the perfect storm for cramping muscles that contract but can't fully release. For rebuilding leg strength, B1's role becomes even more crucial. Strong muscle contractions require massive amounts of ATP in very short bursts. When you stand up from a chair or climb stairs, your leg muscles need to generate explosive power that can increase their energy demands by 10-20 times normal levels. Without adequate B1 supervising energy production, your muscles simply can't meet these demands, leading to the weakness and fatigue that makes simple activities feel exhausting. The neurological support aspect of B1 specifically benefits leg function. B1 helps maintain the myelin sheaths that insulate the long nerves running from your spine to your leg muscles. When these protective coverings deteriorate due to B1 deficiency, the electrical signals traveling to your legs become weak and scattered, resulting in poor muscle activation and that frustrating feeling that your legs aren't responding properly to your brain's commands. The age-related decline in B1 absorption creates a perfect storm for leg problems. After age 50, stomach acid production decreases, making it harder to extract B1 from food. Additionally, many medications commonly prescribed to seniors, including diuretics, antacids, and diabetes medications, actively deplete B1 levels. The aging process increases the body's B1 requirements, just as absorption decreases, creating a deficiency that manifests first in the large, energy-hungry muscles of the legs. The best food sources of thiamine include pork, 0.8 milliliters per 3 oz serving, sunflower seeds, 0.4 milliliters per ounce, black beans, 0.4 milliliters per cup, and nutritional yeast, up to 10 milliliters per tablespoon. Whole grains like brown rice and oats provide moderate amounts, while fortified cereals can contain 1 to 2 milliliters per serving. However, thiamine is extremely fragile. Cooking, processing, and even exposure to air destroys much of the vitamin content. Refined grains lose up to 80% of their natural B1 during processing, which explains why thiamine deficiency is so common despite people eating B1 containing foods. For optimal leg strength, most people need 50 to 100 milliliters of vitamin B1 daily, far more than the RDA of 1.1-1.2 milliliters. The key is choosing the right form. Thiamine hydrochloride is the most common, but poorly absorbed form found in most supplements. Benfotiamine, a fat-soluble form of B1, is absorbed up to 5 times better and stays in tissues longer, making it ideal for muscle energy support. L-thiamine, derived from garlic, is another highly bioavailable form that crosses into muscle cells more efficiently than standard thiamine. Take B1 on an empty stomach for maximum absorption, preferably in the morning when your muscles are preparing for the day's energy demands. Avoid taking it with coffee or tea, as these can interfere with absorption. Space doses throughout the day rather than taking one large amount, as your body can only absorb limited quantities at once. B1 works synergistically with other B vitamins, so consider a high-potency B complex that includes at least 50 mg each of B1, B6, and B12. Most people notice reduced muscle fatigue within 1 to 2 weeks of starting proper B1 supplementation, with significant improvements in leg strength appearing after 4 to 6 weeks. The transformation can be dramatic. Legs that once felt heavy and unreliable become responsive and powerful. And the simple act of standing up regains the effortless strength it once had. Now that your muscles have energy to fire, let's make sure they follow clear signals, because without vitamin B6, coordination falls apart. Vitamin B6, the muscle communication master for powerful, cramp-free legs. Think of your leg muscles as a construction crew, where every worker must follow clear instructions to build something strong. But vitamin B6 is like the foreman who ensures everyone communicates perfectly and works together without confusion. Without adequate B6, your leg muscles become like a construction site with poor communication. Workers may be capable, but they can't coordinate properly, leading to painful cramps and weak performance when you need reliable strength most. When you consume vitamin B6, it travels to your liver, where it gets converted into the active form that your leg muscle cells need for coordination and power. This conversion process becomes less efficient with age, which explains why many seniors develop leg problems despite eating B6-containing foods. The active B6 helps create special chemicals that control how your muscles contract and relax. When your brain sends a contract signal, B6 ensures your thigh muscles, hamstrings, and calves respond with exactly the right amount of force at precisely the right time. Here's how B6 prevents cramps when B6 levels are too low. Your leg muscles receive signals to contract, but can't properly coordinate the relaxation phase. Your muscles get stuck in a partially tightened state. This is exactly what we experience as a cramp. Those painful nighttime spasms happen because your calf muscles literally can't receive the chemical message to let go and relax completely. This explains why people often wake up with severe Charlie horses that can last for minutes. The muscle fiber synchronization effect is where B6's true power for leg strength becomes evident. B6 doesn't just help individual muscles work. It coordinates the firing patterns of thousands of muscle fibers within each leg muscle. When you need maximum power output, like pushing yourself up from a deep chair or accelerating upstairs, B6 ensures that muscle fibers fire in synchronized waves rather than random, inefficient patterns. This coordination can increase your leg's force generation by up to 40% compared to uncoordinated contractions. For building leg strength, B6 becomes even more important. When you stand up from a chair or climb stairs, hundreds of individual muscle units in your legs must work together with perfect timing. B6 creates the communication chemicals that synchronize all these muscles, like a conductor directing an orchestra where every instrument must play at exactly the right moment. Without this coordination, your legs feel shaky and unreliable during movement. B6 also helps convert the protein from your food into the specific muscle-building materials your legs need for growth and repair. This process is crucial for maintaining muscle mass as you age. When B6 levels are low, your leg muscles can't efficiently build or maintain the structures that create strength. leading to gradual weakness that's especially noticeable in your thighs and calves. The neuromuscular junction optimization aspect of B6 specifically benefits leg function. B6 helps maintain the connection points where nerves meet muscle fibers, ensuring that electrical signals from your brain translate into powerful muscle contractions. When these junctions deteriorate due to B6 deficiency, the signal transmission becomes weak and unreliable, resulting in legs that feel disconnected from your brain's commands and respond sluggishly to movement intentions. The balance and stability enhancement effect of B6 is particularly crucial for preventing falls and maintaining confidence in your legs. B6 helps coordinate the small, rapid adjustments your leg muscles make to maintain balance when you're standing or walking on uneven surfaces. Without adequate B6, these micro-corrections become delayed or uncoordinated, leading to that unsettling feeling that your legs might give out unexpectedly. This coordination is essential for activities like navigating stairs, stepping off curbs, or simply walking confidently on different surfaces. Age makes B6 absorption much harder. After 50, stomach acid decreases, making it difficult to extract B6 from food proteins. Many common medications, including antacids, water pills, and anti-inflammatory drugs, also block B6 absorption. Meanwhile, inflammation increases B6 needs, just as absorption declines, creating a perfect storm for deficiency. The best food sources of B6 include tuna, 0.9 ml per 3 oz, salmon, 0.6 ml per 3 oz, chicken breast, 0.5 ml per 3 oz, turkey, beef liver, and pork. Chickpeas provide 1.1 ml per cup, while potatoes with skin offer 0.4 ml each. Bananas contain 0.4 ml each, and sunflower seeds provide 0.2 mg per ounce. However, cooking destroys much of the B6 content, and even B6-rich foods rarely provide the therapeutic amounts needed for reversing leg weakness and cramps. For optimal leg strength and cramp prevention, most people need 50–100 milliliters of vitamin B6 daily, much more than the standard recommendation of 1.31 mg/7 Choose pyridoxal 5-phosphate P5P, the active form that works immediately in your muscles without requiring conversion. This is especially important for people over 50, whose conversion ability has declined significantly. Take B6 with meals to improve absorption, ideally spread throughout the day rather than one large dose. Avoid taking it with high-protein meals if using regular B6 as amino acids compete for absorption. B6 works best with magnesium and other B vitamins, so consider a comprehensive B complex. Take your morning dose with breakfast to support daytime muscle coordination, and a smaller evening dose to prevent nighttime cramps. Most people notice reduced muscle cramping within 1 to 2 weeks of starting proper B6 supplementation, particularly those painful nighttime leg cramps that often disappear entirely. Improvements in leg coordination and strength typically appear after 3 to 4 weeks as the communication systems normalize and muscle building improves. The shaky feeling when standing usually resolves within a month. The transformation can be remarkable. Legs that once felt unpredictable and prone to cramping become steady and reliable. Painful spasms become rare, and the coordinated strength needed for daily activities returns to dependable power. As we age, many of us begin to accept leg cramps, stiffness, and weakness as just another part of getting older. But maybe they don't have to be. Maybe your legs aren't failing you. They're simply asking for something they've quietly needed all along. And when we look closely, that something often comes down to 3 overlooked vitamins. Vitamin D, the master key, helps your muscles absorb the minerals they need to contract and relax with ease. Vitamin B1 ensures your muscles don't run out of fuel when you need them most. And vitamin B6 restores the communication lines between nerves and muscles, so movement feels smooth, not shaky. Each of these plays a different role, but together, they form a foundation, one that can bring surprising relief and real strength, even at 75 and beyond. And no, You don't need to change your whole life to see that difference. You don't need to become a supplement expert or buy expensive powders. Just one thoughtful addition to your day, a simple habit taken with your lunch or breakfast, could mean fewer painful nights, stronger steps, and more confidence doing the things you love. You've likely spent decades taking care of others. Maybe it's time to offer your own body the same care. Your legs have carried you through stories, through seasons, through joy and challenge. And they're still with you, just waiting for the right support to move forward with strength. It's not about age. It's about giving your body what it quietly needs. So start with one change, one vitamin, one stronger walk. That's all it takes to begin. Because sometimes, the smallest decision you make today becomes the one that carries you farther tomorrow. Give your legs what they've earned, the strength to keep going. They've never asked for much, just a little support, a little consistency, and a little faith that they can still move with power.